Black Tabby Games. Eine Warnung für Leute, die empfindlich sind auf flickernde Bilder etc. Und naja, was auch immer das hier für Horror sind, das ist eine Liebesgeschichte anscheinend. Willkommen zum Angedaddelt von Slay the Princess. Ich habe relativ wenig Ahnung von dem Spiel, aber es sah eigentlich ganz hübsch aus und der Entwickler hat es mir zukommen lassen. Ja, ich gehe nur ganz kurz hier die Einstellung einmal durch, aber es sieht jetzt erstmal so weit okay aus. Gehen wir auf Return und starten einfach ein neues Spiel. Mal gucken. Kapitel 1. Der Held und die Prinzessin.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Okay. Aber wir können das Ende der Welt erforschen. Also generell nachfragen, wie das Ende der Welt? Worüber redest du?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
Aber was ist denn so schlimm an ihr? Eine Prinzessin zu töten scheint irgendwie böse zu sein, nicht wahr?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
Er meint halt, ne, halt auch nur, ne, halt nicht besser als einen Fischermann zu töten und so, ne, Tod ist tot, aber Monarchen zu töten hat immer noch andere Auswirkungen, als einfach nur einen Fischer zu töten. Bekomme ich eine Belohnung für das? War das hier? Kann das nicht jemand anderes machen?
Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't.
Wer hätte für belohnt?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Wenn du mir nicht erzählst, warum sie so gefährlich ist, werde ich sie nicht töten.
She's not dangerous. She's just a princess. The danger comes if she gets out. Which she will, unless you do something about it.
Ja, aber was genau passiert denn dann? Was passiert, wenn sie rauskommt? Ich will das ein bisschen spezifiziert haben.
The more specifics you have, the harder it will be for you to do this very important job. She's a princess. People will listen to her, because listening to her is in their nature. And when they do, everything will come crashing down.
Vielleicht schon mal daran gedacht, dass der einzige Grund, warum die Welt da untergeht, ist, weil sie eingesperrt ist?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Hast du irgendwelche Beweise dafür? Wo willst du das wissen? Ich meine, sie ist ja noch nicht aus der Höhle rausgekommen. Wo willst du wissen, dass die Welt dann endet?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Vielleicht wurde ich auch hierher verschleppt. Hast du schon mal darüber nachgedacht, dass ich vielleicht damit okay bin, wenn die Welt endet?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Nah. Ich gehe zur Kabine und spreche mit ihr. Und wenn sie so schlecht ist, wie du sagst, dann töte ich sie vielleicht. Aber ich verspreche nicht, solange ich sie getroffen habe.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed. So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Ja, gut, dann gehen wir mal weiter voran zur Hütte.
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Wir können auch einfach einmal in den Keller hineingehen.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Ja, Frage ist halt, ne, wer ist hier derjenige, der manipulieren will, ne? Hey, ich denke, ich bin hier, um dich zu töten. Ich bin hier, um dich zu retten.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Na, eigentlich nicht.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
Warte, lass uns mal ein bisschen reden.
Okay.
Wie heißt du?
Oh,
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
you can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
Also Princess ist dein Name, ja?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
Das heißt, sie verschweigt uns schon mal ihren Namen. Interessant.
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
Ich weiß gar nichts über dich. Alles, was ich weiß, ist, du bist hier eingesperrt aus einem Grund. Wenn ich die erste Person bin, die du siehst seit einer ganzen Weile, was warst du am Essen oder Trinken?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Na schon. Du könntest hier gar nicht überleben.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
So, alles, was ich weiß, ist, dass ich nichts über dich weiß. Aber du bist hier eingesperrt aus einem Grund.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You have all the explanation you need, and you should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
Na, genau genommen hilft mir das gar nicht. Ich wurde hergeschickt, um dich zu töten. Weil du wohl das Ende der Welt herbeirufst. Aber ich denke nicht, dass du gefährlich bist.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
Ohne Essen, ohne Trinken.
How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
Ich dachte, das könntest du mir erzählen.
I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her. She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. I don't trust that, and I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. we stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch no less.
Mhm. Frage ist ja, wenn sie halt vorher draußen war, bevor sie eingesperrt wurde, warum hat sie vorher dann nicht die Welt zerstört, ne? Ich kann nicht glauben, dass er dich hier unten gelassen hat. Ich hol dich hier irgendwie raus.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Und wenn es da keine anderen Schlüssel gibt, hast du andere Ideen?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
Freiheit ist kostbar.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place. Is someone else here?
Wir versuchen mal die Tür.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Oder so eine Holztür sollte man aufbringen können. Lass mich hier raus.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Der scheiß Erzähler hat mich eingesperrt.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Ich meine, sie will ja auch nur die Freiheit, ne? Ich meine, da wäre ich dann auch froh. Scheiß auf den Namen. Okay. Auf zur verschlossenen Tür.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Ich habe keine andere Option. Ich warne dich.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Widerstehen.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What
Was ist überhaupt das für eine
are
Hand?
you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
Was ja dann egal sein kann, wenn die Welt eh endet, oder?
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Kapitel 2. The Damsel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Ja, so würden wir jetzt halt wieder einen Durchlauf machen und dann wieder und dann wieder. Und das ist eigentlich so das Interessante an dem Spiel, dass halt so viele Lösungsansätze hast aufgrund deiner Entscheidung, die du treffen kannst. Und ja, ich würde sagen, fürs Angedaddelt haben wir jetzt hier genug reingeschnuppert. Ein bisschen schöner würde ich es persönlich finden, das Ganze irgendwie auf Deutsch zu haben. Einfach auch für Verständnis halt von vielen anderen deutschen Spielern, die halt der englischen Sprache nicht ganz so mächtig sind. Ich finde, es geht eigentlich noch so von der englischen Sprache her. Aber ist halt für viele dann doch noch irgendwie einfacher dann zu handeln, sag ich mal. Ne? Eine schöne deutsche Sprachausgabe wäre eigentlich auch nicht verkehrt. Aber das ist halt dann auch nochmal teuer. Besonders bei der Menge an Text. Ja, ich finde es ganz nett. Ich hoffe, euch hat das kleine Angedaddelt gefallen. Vielleicht schaut ihr in das Spiel genauer rein, packt es euch auf eure Wunschliste oder. Ich mache jetzt hier Ende Gelände fürs Angedaddelt und vielleicht spielen wir das mal als Let's Play irgendwie durch oder im Stream oder. Ja, jetzt aber tschö mit Ö und bis zum nächsten Angedaddelt.